Hey listeners, welcome to Straight Wife Trans Life. I'm Lisa, and in this episode, I asked my spouse a few questions about her experience using the bathroom as a transgender woman. Let's get straight to it and hear what she has to say. Hello. I am welcoming back a regular, my spouse. Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
So last episode, I gave my opinion about the transgender bathroom thing, and I think it is important to hear your thoughts as someone who is 2.5 years into the process of transitioning and has, as we all do, needed to use the bathroom. All right, so let's just dive into the questions. When did it feel like the right time to start using the women's bathroom, and how much confidence did that take?
That's a funny one. I thought about it a little bit after reading your candidate questions. So at some point early last year, I went to the bathroom with our son, and I went to the boys' bathroom with him, but I was mostly wearing female clothes and some makeup. And some guy walked in, opened the door, and saw me talking to my son about washing his hands and rushing him. And the guy did a double take where he looked at me, got out of the bathroom, looked at the sign on the door to make sure he was in the right bathroom, and then he walked back in. And then for me, that was the signal of I was not passing as a man anymore, and it was time for me to just do the right thing and go to the correct bathroom that matched how I presented myself. I talked to my therapist about this because I was very worried, but I think I'm pretty feminine. I wear feminine clothes. I try to have my nails painted and wear some makeup when I don't have allergies and stuff like that. So I think I give enough clues to people that I am presenting as a lady.
I do remember that we were at a restaurant. It has a bar area for sports, and it's like a pretty casual place. And I do want to say, so people understand that like what you wear, you do keep it classy. You're like the Ann Taylor / J. Crew style is what you usually wear. So very classy, very nice, very just right.
Yeah, all purchased on clearance.
See, like a true woman, we like to talk about our sales. Have you experienced any problems in our area using the bathroom? And just so listeners do have an idea, we are located in California, but that does not mean that everyone is open-minded. It means maybe that more people might be open-minded than other places, but it also just depends where you are at the moment and the time of day. So have you experienced any issues in general using the restroom, either when you were still using the men's room or after transitioning to the women's bathroom?
So I haven't had any issues in our area going to the bathroom using the ladies' bathroom, or when I was failing as a man already. But I have to say, we live in a big metropolitan area, and this one time we went to the boonies, to a winery, and I was like so happy with what I was wearing. I was the best dressed lady in the place that we went to. And when I left to go to do something with our son, I noticed the women around started looking at me and making faces and comments and chit chat, and that was very uncomfortable. But that's kind of far into the farmland, so that's the most uncomfortable I've felt here. Otherwise, we used to go to, before I had FFS, we used to go to restaurants, and here and there'll be people that looked at us funny. Even when we're out as a family, I am not doing anything scandalous or strange or being loud, anything. And still we had sometimes some people giving strange looks. So that's the extent of my experience so far.
But that made you sort of uncomfortable to use the bathroom, or?
That made me uncomfortable thinking to go back to that area, because I know for a fact, we've heard them before, people in this area, to make nasty comments about other people that come from the metropolitan area, and this kind of confirmed it. So I think twice now about doing, well, probably not after FFS so much, but I was pretty concerned about going back to that area and like try to use the bathroom or go alone to do things, because like you stay behind with our kid and I have to do things alone, or yeah, so that's the situation.
On the flip side of that, we were at this winery with my parents and we were listening to a band, and my dad knew a member in the band who then came over and talked to us. So there was one friendly person, but that level of unease when others are sort of staring at you, and I've learned to ignore it, but you still feel it. And in particular in that area, like you said, it was very intense. Speaking of intense, You went to Texas for a work trip last year, and maybe you can tell us how was that? How was the bathroom situation there? And why did you skip the trip this year?
Well, I was pretty horrified when I went last year. I actually discussed with my manager last year about not going, and then he kept on insisting and like not minimizing it, but trying to just say like, we should all go. So I decided to go, and my plan was to stay in the hotel room and just order room service and go straight from the office to the hotel, like not really engage with the locals. I'm just scared and like being Texas all the time on the news for doing these extreme things. That was my plan. I ended up having breakfast at the hotel and I felt uncomfortable. I don't know how much people were really staring at me, but I felt stared at. Although I was dressed up, like you said, in very classy clothes with very classy makeup and all the stuff I could do. At the end of the day, we went out to a restaurant and I did not use the bathroom. And I stayed sitting in the middle of a table of 12 next to the two largest guys I worked with at that moment. And didn't go to the bathroom, just sat there, ordered my food, faced the exit, made sure there was a wall behind me. I was scared. At the office, I was concerned, but I waited until there was nobody in the bathroom, went to the bathroom that looked more obvious around people, but nobody was in there. So I was reassured several times by HR that things were going to be safe for me, but I just didn't trust the people around. And since things have got worse in the political arena in this country, I just decided this year to skip it because we're also going to go to do some like driving around, and I may have to have used some rest stop bathrooms. And one thing is inside an office where it's kind of controlled, but like really in the wild on a open road, just use a restroom, the rest stop. That felt like way too much risk for me. And I know there is one other trans woman in the company, and she expressed the same concern. So I didn't feel like I was just crazy for feeling like this.
I know in our area that we have, gender neutral bathrooms. Is that the case in Texas?
Well, the office didn't have gender neutral bathrooms, and the other places, honestly, I don't know. I just keep going to the bathroom. At the airport, I went to the ladies because it's an airport, but when I went through security, it was very, very uncomfortable. They searched me, it was uncomfortable.
Now I'm kind of switching gears. What steps could an employer take to help their LGBTQ plus employees feel safe when using the restroom at work? I imagine if all of the offices had gender neutral restrooms, that might be a start.
Yeah, single stall bathrooms would be a great idea because then you don't have to share with anybody. And like I am transgender, like binary, I am fully invested on passing and becoming a woman that everybody sees as such. But there are a lot of people that are non-binary that I think it's trickier for them to feel comfortable in a bathroom where they can be identified, like they project something different. So if you just go alone into the restroom, close the door and walk out and nobody's going to be around to judge you, I think that'd be really safe and make you feel better. And the other thing is being clear that diversity, particularly gender diversity, is supported and is a thing they are going to be amicable to. Yeah, those are the only things I can think about, honestly.
Well, you know what I would love to see in general as a woman or as a man is the stalls that don't have the giant cracks in between. I think that's a very American thing. A lot of the restrooms in Europe are very enclosed. You have like an actual door that shuts and it feels like you have walls. Even if the ceiling is open, it still feels like you are in your own space and that nobody can take a look at what's going on if they wanted to.
For my life, I cannot understand why bathrooms are like that, have gaps. Like it just opens the door to somebody being a creep and looking across. And why?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Since your FFS, facial feminization surgery, have you noticed a change in attitude or perception using the female restroom?
I noticed a change on how people treat me. I feel people treat me with a lot more ease. I feel women are more like friendly with me. I haven't had much interactions in the bathroom. Actually, a week ago, I went out with one of my dearest friends to a bar to blow some steam about my life. And I ended up going to the bathroom. And I didn't realize, but the door was closed, but there was somebody inside, but I couldn't see. So I just pushed a little bit, and a lady yelled from inside, "Ah!" And I also yelled because I was scared. And then she was ready to come out. She walked out, and she just said, "Oh, the latch doesn't quite work." And we laughed at it. And then she left, and there was no comment, no nothing. It was very natural, and it felt great for me to do that. Yesterday, I went out again with this friend, and as I was going to wash my hands, I realized a contingent of ladies walked in, and I just felt they were kind of like on their own world. Like I felt like a stranger because I wasn't part of their group, but I didn't feel any other way othered by this group. So I think that's normal.
I think that's great. What would you like others to understand when sharing the space of a public restroom with a transgender person? Or even a non-binary person, just anybody who doesn't fit into the little, box that we have in our heads.
Yeah, I think the thing to understand is that we all need to use the restroom. We just want to get in and out of it and wash our hands. And I don't understand this fascination with like transgender women in the bathrooms. It wouldn't be safe for us to go to a male bathroom. I don't look like a male anymore. It's just degrading to try to push people to do something like that. So just understand that we just need the restroom as much as you, and we're scared, most of us. We just want to do our thing in and out. I would actually love to stay a little bit longer and redo my makeup, but I am not comfortable, so I walk out as fast as I can and then use my compact mirror set to redo my lipstick when I get back to my table.
How can allies make you feel comfortable, or what can they do or not say to make the bathroom thing feel like less of a thing? I mentioned this in the last episode, which is like never say, "Are you transgender?" Like that's offensive. Like don't say that. But is there anything that an ally can do just to kind of make you feel comfortable?
Yeah, treat us like the people we are, like the ladies we are trying to be.
Like human?
Yeah, like this lady laughing at the latch not working and me walking in and me getting scared just like she did. Like it was so natural. Yeah. One thing that I've read about, I think you mentioned, was going in a group. If you're with other women and you're a trans woman, if you go with other women to the restroom so you feel accompanied, so you make it more difficult for others to be rude to you, that would be a nice thing to do, I think, but we can't always do that. So just let us be.
Just get in, get out, enjoy the rest of your day or night.
Thank you for giving me a space to share like my thoughts and feelings. I know it's not the measure of truth or whatever, like the absolute truth out there, but I think it's a pretty honest commentary on how I'm experiencing this journey, and I'm very, very, very lucky to be in a large metropolitan area with the resources to do all this. It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, and I think every transgender person and even non-binary person has different experiences, but if we can just kind of shed a little bit of light, I hope it helps. Thank you.
Thank you.